Good morning, this is Tom Lasseter. Welcome to Dao De Vibe, episode 8. So in episode 7, we gave you a Git repo that has Google Auth and Stripe payment implementation built in. So you can just start off with that fully functional website and then start adding things to it. There are a few things that are important to think about with this Google Auth and Stripe payment implementation. So Replit offers Replit Auth, and you can set that up very easily without going through any pain. If you do set up Replit Auth, then when you go to try to set up Google Auth, you're going to go through a lot of pain. I can guarantee you that. In my opinion, it's much better just to start off with Google Auth from the get-go because you're going to need it if you're launching any serious project. So I haven't shown you how to set up Google Auth on the Google side of things. And I think it's just easier if you go to ChatGPT and say, tell me how to set up a Google Auth account in whatever it is, Google Spaces, I have no idea. A lot of times it's just easier to ask ChatGPT how to set something up and then they'll walk you through all the steps, because if I try to do it on a video, first of all, it'll take forever, and second of all, it's not as good as just asking ChatGPT. So cut to the chase on that one. So now that you have your Google Auth website with the Stripe payment set up, it's important to start thinking about problems you're going to encounter with AI trying to screw up the base level implementation that you already have. One really maddening thing you're going to encounter with Replit is that when you start building things on top of this base, very often Replit is going to say, oh, you have an authentication issue. I need to fix that because the reason you're having some problem or another problem is because you aren't logged in, and let me go fix it. So if you believe that and you say, oh yeah, sure, go fix it, it is going to go break the Google Auth login. So a word of warning, anytime Replit says you have an authentication issue, it is definitely not true, and you can prove that by just logging in. And if you tell Replit, I'm logged in, so obviously there's not an authentication issue, it will say, oh, you're right, I was wrong. So when you encounter that, just tell it to stop. And I think this is one of the very important things you will learn to stop from reeling off into no man's land and having Replit or any AI break a bunch of your code is you have to just tell it to stop if something doesn't feel right. Instead of letting Replit just go fix something or implement something on its own, I think it's better to ask it to come up with a plan and tell it, don't do anything else until I approve the plan. Oftentimes you'll tell Replit, hey, this is broken, and it'll say, oh, let me go fix it. And it'll go off and fix that, but break a bunch of other things. So instead of telling Replit this is broken and just leaving it open-ended and letting it go fix something, I would tell it, hey, this is broken. What is your plan? And please don't do anything until we approve a plan together. Because a lot of times when it comes up to the plan, you'll understand that the plan is totally wrong. One thing you're going to notice when you start building lots of features is that you will fix something and then a few hours later you'll have a very similar issue, and Replit will say, oh, let me go fix that. And if you just let it do that, it will try to come up with a completely different solution than the one it came up with just a few hours ago. So when you see a similar issue and Replit offers to go fix it, it's better to say, hey, remember we fixed the same thing this morning, and can you please go look at that fix and implement a similar fix? And then Replit will say, oh yeah, I do remember that, and it will go and make a bulletproof fix. So you really have to be paying attention to what Replit is telling you is wrong and what you suspect might be wrong, because otherwise it's just going to go off and recreate possibly what you've already created. You may have received an email from Replit saying, hey, we're going to switch to usage-based pricing. And you might have thought, that doesn't sound very good, because I really liked the $25 a month idea. And what you'll find out is if you're using it a lot, you're going to suddenly be paying $50 a day or something like that. And that's obviously going to break the bank. So as soon as you start realizing that Replit is going to cost $50 a day, you're going to immediately want to start looking for other solutions, or at least augment the Replit solution. So in episode 9, we're going to talk about hooking up Codex to your Git repo and allowing Codex to do a lot of the work for you. This is going to A, save you a lot of money, and B, it's going to make your life much easier because Codex is a much better coding solution some of the times. And I say some of the time because sometimes Replit is very good and very creative and Codex is not. So it's kind of like having two different programmers, which is kind of cool. You can ask one to give you its opinion and then ask the other one to implement it, or vice versa. So thank you very much. See you in episode 9. Bye.